Has anyone seen Harry and Conrad discussing Kevin's disappearance in the new teaser scene from episode 9? Without giving anything away, episode 9 will see the culmination of a major MobLand theme, the legal status of Conrad, Pierce Brosnan, and Maeve, Helen Mirren. The Harrigans have more adversaries than they initially believed because the cops are working with the Stevenson gang. This is Paramount Plus's official synopsis. Bella, trying to salvage her plan with Antoine, does a runner down to London. Tattersall gets Alice's Tootsies tapping. Conrad clears the air at the Falkland Arms. Kevin confronts his past. The Harrigans sit down for a normal family dinner. What will Harry do about Alice, Jan's Joanne Froggatt companion, on top of everything else? He must be aware that Jan works for the police as an undercover agent. Serafina, played by Mandeep Dhillon, Conrad's daughter, has some serious intentions for the family that might completely alter the power dynamics. Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan are at odds. After her husband Conrad, Brosnan invites Alice, Emily Barber, to dinner. Maeve, Mirren, is seeking answers from him in People's exclusive first look at the May 25th episode of MobLand. Alice is who the effing is? As the two are in a sauna, Maeve asks, "What?" The repeated phrase seems to be a reference to the British hit song Living Next Door to Alice from the 1970s. She is one of Jan's Joanne Froggatt friends. To whom did you extend the dinner invitation? Conrad asks his wife, "What's your point?" After Maeve says this, Maeve wants to know if he's wanting to ride her, since she believes his interest might not be entirely pure. Conrad explains, "Not particularly," and she responds, "Yes." "You're not foolish enough to do it in my house, though. I believe you're planning something." She says, "I was just trying to figure out who she is. That's how easy it is." "Oh, do you believe she is undercover?" Maeve insists. "Do you want to find a wire and strip her naked? Is that the strategy?" "I can locate a cable without stripping somebody naked." He points to his eyes, ears, and nose as he says, "When I have these, and this." Then Maeve strikes a final blow, pointing to his lower area and saying, "Yes, well, you stick to that, or you'll be losing these." According to an official summary, MobLand centers on Conrad, the head of an organized crime family, and his struggle for power within a global crime syndicate. He listens to her, and they've been a partnership in crime ever since they were in their early teens. They got together in their early teens, and they've been together ever since, and they very successfully forged this crime industry together. Mirren previously revealed in an interview with Parade regarding the on-screen relationship between Conrad and Maeve. Therefore, they are reliant on one another, they compete with one another, they criticize one another, and they love one another. But I don't think it's unconditional love, she continued. The actress expressed her admiration for her co-star Brosnan to the source, saying, "I just adored working with him. He's absolutely seriously the best guy to work with. And I think both of us loved our characters, because I don't think either of us have ever played a character like the characters that we're playing," she said. "I certainly haven't played anyone like Maeve except when I played Lady Macbeth many years ago, and I can't think of anything that Pierce has done that is this crime boss Conrad Harrigan that he's playing." With 10 episodes in season 1, MobLand's 9th episode, Beggar's Banquet, will advance several major plot points and set up everything for the finale next week. Episode 8 revealed that informant Alice, Emily Barber, was in more trouble than we initially believed, and that high-level police official Tattersall, Toby Jones, was completely in the pocket of mob boss Richie Stevenson, Jeff Bell. In light of everything that has transpired, Harry, Tom Hardy, is now heavily indebted to Kat McAllister, Janet McTeer, the mastermind crime lord. The critically acclaimed British crime drama MobLand is receiving a lot of support from Paramount Plus. Variety exclusively learned that the company is launching an ambitious Emmy campaign that unexpectedly puts Pierce Brosnan and Tom Hardy in the running for lead drama actor. One of the streamer's unexpected Emmy strategy decisions is to promote Brosnan as a co-lead rather than a supporting actor as many had assumed. Instead of competing against her own work in Taylor Sheridan's Western drama 1923, where she is regarded as a potential lead drama actress, Helen Mirren will instead compete for supporting drama actress. Ronan Bennett's MobLand revolves around Harry D'Souza, Hardy, a fixer for the wealthy Harrigan crime family in London, which is headed by Conrad, Brosnan, and Maeve Harrigan, Mirren. When rival gangs threaten the family's empire, Harry must keep things under control and keep a full-scale conflict from breaking out. Since its premiere, the show has also garnered impressive ratings. According to the network, MobLand logged 8.8 million viewers worldwide in its first 7 days, a 298% increase from the premiere day, making it the biggest global series premiere week in Paramount Plus history. It joined 1923 and Landman as one of the platform's top 3 launches ever, and it was the 7th Paramount Plus original to reach the Nielsen SVOD, original top 10 for 2 weeks in a row, April 14th to 21st. In a notable departure from industry norms, MobLand submitted its Emmy entries for writing and directing, not for its pilot episode, but for later episodes in the season, a rare choice for a new drama. Typically, networks push pilot episodes in these categories, especially for first-year shows looking to make a splash. Instead, the writing submission came from episode 105, Funeral for a Friend, by Ronan Bennett and Jez Butterworth. Directing submissions included Guy Ritchie for episode 102, Jigsaw Puzzle, Anthony Byrne for episode 109, Beggar's Banquet, and Daniel Sirkin for the same writing episode, Funeral for a Friend. Paramount Plus is betting on peak storytelling rather than premiere impressions to garner some recognition. Hardy, previously Oscar-nominated for The Revenant, 2015, is known for intense, transformative turns in films like Mad Max, Fury Road, Locke, Bronson, and The Dark Knight Rises. On the small screen, he's been praised for the British series The Take and won a News and Documentary Emmy for producing the 2019 nature documentary Trophy. A Hollywood mainstay for more than 40 years, Brosnan is renowned for his role as James Bond in popular films like GoldenEye and for his Golden Globe-nominated work in the TV drama Nancy Astor, 1985, and the comedy The Matador, 2006. Helen Hunt is the only other actor to have won both an Oscar and an Emmy in the same year for As Good as It Gets and Mad About You. Mirren is one of only 2 actors to win both an Oscar and an Emmy in the same year, and she has 5 Emmys. She won an Oscar for her performance as Queen Elizabeth II in The Queen, 2006, and a Lead Actress Limited Emmy for Elizabeth I. In all, Paramount Plus submitted MobLand for 17 categories, including Supporting Actor, Patty Considine, Anson Boone, Daniel Betts, Supporting Actress, Joanne Froggatt, Lara Pulver, Jasmine Jobson, Mandeep Dhillon, and Outstanding Drama Series. Additionally, there were several technical accomplishments, including production design, cinematography, music composition, and more. The first 8 episodes of MobLand are currently available for streaming on Paramount Plus in the United States, with the remaining 2 episodes dropping every Sunday. The rest of the season's release schedule is as follows. The entry-level Essential plan is ad-supported, while the more expensive Showtime plan removes most ads and includes downloads and Showtime programming. Paramount Plus subscriptions range from $8 to $13 per month, depending on the tier you choose, and both provide access to MobLand. You can also purchase a full year of either plan to save money compared to paying each month separately. As far as on-screen families go, the Harrigans from MobLand must be among the most dysfunctional, poisonous, and incestuous we've seen in a long time. In addition to Conrad's Pierce Brosnan brutality and sexual deviance, Eddie's Anson Boone psychopathic killing of Tommy, Felix Edwards, the son of Richie Stevenson, Jeff Bell, is the act of irrational aggression that started this needless carnage, which has now claimed the lives of the most innocent members of each family: Brendan Harrigan, Daniel Betts, and Veron Stevenson, Annie Cooper. While the most recent episode, Helter Skelter, primarily concentrated on the possible repercussions of Harry's Tom Hardy deal with Kat McAllister, Janet McTeer, one line stood out for its unsettling implications regarding the ancestry of one specific Harrigan member. If it turns out to be the truth, as it feels it inevitably will be, nothing will be the same. The power dynamics and our empathy for this character would irrevocably change, and their actions would require some crucial context. For now, MobLand has us wondering what the hell Eddie Harrigan's real parents are. In episode 7, The Crossroads, Maeve was uncharacteristically hysterical and filled with grief after Brendan's brutal murder, even welcoming Serafina, Mandeep Dhillon, back with open arms and calling her a true Harrigan. Later in the episode, however, Maeve reveals her true colors when she talks to Kevin, Paddy Considine, trying to turn him against Serafina by telling him that the only heirs to the Harrigan Empire will be Kevin or your brother, calling Serafina a base-born bastard. When Kevin tries to stop this by reminding Maeve that Brendan is dead, Maeve clarifies that she means your other brother, in an ominous tone. The fact that this causes Kevin to react so strongly, calling his own mother a bitch, before Eddie enters the room suggests that Maeve was revealing that he is not Kevin's son. The exact nature of his relationship with Kevin is unclear though, and if Kevin was unaware of this until now, it could indicate that Conrad had secretly continued to date Bella, Laura Pulver, despite her marriage to Kevin, and that Bella was carrying Conrad's child instead of Kevin's. The extreme reaction and Kevin's quick assumption that Maeve meant Brendan would suggest this. But there is a much different and possibly more concerning possibility for everyone associated with the Harrigan family. Eddie is not only Maeve's son, but Maeve's son with Richie. The fact that Maeve mentioned how close she and Richie used to be, even too close, which only Eddie was in the room to hear, suggests that Eddie's true parentage is an open secret between Kevin, Bella, and Maeve. However, since Maeve doesn't care much about Serafina, Conrad's daughter with another woman, why would she care about Eddie in such a maternal way, unless he is actually her son? It would also be the first time Bella and Kevin have ignored horrifying things, and it would have been difficult for Maeve to conceal it. The ramifications of this revelation could be severe, causing a rift within the Harrigan family at a time when tensions are already high. If Kevin loses faith in his family, it could give Harry a way out of Conrad's control, because he would no longer be alone. However, if Maeve is able to influence Conrad to favor Eddie over Kevin, especially with the suspicion of a rat in the family, and Kevin refuses to leave his family's side, the bloodthirst of Eddie and Maeve would endanger anyone who isn't completely loyal to them. MobLand would make perfect sense for Eddie's father, whoever he is. As was already mentioned, it is possible that Eddie's father is either Conrad or Richie, but either way, it greatly advances our understanding of Eddie's character. If Conrad is the father, Eddie's actions would be attributed to his inherent aggression, making Eddie's murder of Tommy seem like a sign of a lost cause of a human being because it was unavoidable. If he is Richie's son, however, there's a great deal of dramatic irony and a tragedy surrounding Tommy's death, which would elicit much more sympathy for Eddie. At a time when he is already embarking on a journey where he is being put down by Harry and everyone around him, becoming less cocky as the season progresses, Eddie would have killed his half-brother instead of someone who was a family rival, and he would have been totally coerced into doing so. This terrifying young man could somehow become deeply conflicted by the end of the season. Even though this is all based on a single line, the potential impact this could have on the stories of multiple characters could make it one of the season's most important moments. For Maeve, Conrad, Eddie, Kevin, and everyone else, the final revelation of what Maeve meant will alter everything they believe to be true. For Eddie in particular, if he discovers that nearly his entire life was a lie, he will have to choose between supporting his biological parents and the man he has called his dad his entire life. When Tom Hardy is the celebrity reader on CBeebies Bedtime Stories, half of the adults watching wouldn't need any persuasion. In Taboo, people followed his instructions because he growled something menacingly gothic at them. In Locke, they knew he would only call back later if they didn't comply. And in the Cray brothers' biopic legend, there were two Tom Hardys, both of whom were holding claw hammers. MobLand, a respectable new gangster epic, centers on the notion that a Tom Hardy character persuading, threatening, or influencing someone is an art form in and of itself. Hardy plays top fixer Harry D'Souza, who works for the Harrigans, an Irish clan that controls the London drug and gun scene, but is prone to excess and may not be as astute as they once were. Their charming clinical lieutenant Harry cleans up their messes. The first episode's problem is that Eddie Harrigan, Anson Boone, a spoiled wild child, has been on a bender that ended with the stabbing of a geezer in a nightclub. "I gave him a plunge," says Eddie in a voice too slutty to pull off Hardman vernacular. This could lead to a properly naughty war between the Harrigans and the Cockney crime dynasty, the Stevensons. Harry has to bring Eddie to heel, appease enemy kingpin Richie Stevenson, Jeff Bell, and either sweet talk or frighten witnesses to the knifing, depending on whether he wants them to share information or keep stum. After that, he wanders back to his opulent Thames View apartment where his neglected wife, Joanne Froggatt, demands that he sign up for couples counseling. But before she can finish her list of complaints, Harry's phone rings, and he reports for duty once more. Harry is a man whose strong hands solve problems. When his dependability is called into question, he responds, "If I say I'm going to do something, it gets done." Ronan Bennett, the writer-creator of MobLand, is interested in organized crime as a business that operates on common sense and people management. While the Harrigans make the big decisions, the workaholic Harry communicates with their industry's toothless regulator, the police, disciplines errant employees, and implements the odd, rather abrupt redundancy. Since Harry is essentially a resourceful, well-connected executive, Hardy gives him a penetrating articulacy that is only occasionally flecked with the rough grit Harry must have had as a foot soldier. Hardy delivers the punchline, "Would you like to see me shift to 6th?" so calmly that he's barely audible, which is awfully close to hilarious. Bennett and Hardy are willing to lean into Harry's comic potential as he tells another small-time crook what will happen if he crosses the Harrigans. "I, or possibly one of my associates, depending on my availability, will find you. Right now, I am in first gear," a gun-wielded Harry tells two toe rags who believe they're tough enough to not do as he commands. The Harrigans are also entertaining. Conrad the boss is a wax-jacketed nouveau aristocrat who spits on his hands and claps when he gets good news or kills people when he doesn't. Pierce Brosnan's portrayal of Conrad's erratic behavior could be interpreted as an attempt to portray a dangerously erratic man. Then there's the real boss, Conrad's omniscient wife, Maeve, Helen Mirren, and their son Kevin, Paddy Considine, Eddie's father, whose lack of ruthless nature means he is continuously professional cuckolded by Harry, who is not blood but is the preferred child. The first 2 episodes of MobLand are directed by Guy Ritchie, so if it sounds like a more sophisticated version of the cartoon gangster shenanigans of a Ritchie movie, that's exactly what it is. You expect to either dismiss a new Ritchie project as cliched or quietly chastise yourself for enjoying something that is probably cliched but has been made with enough flair and mischief for you to stop fussing and have a good time. As he takes us to gentlemen's clubs, flat-roofed Isle of Dogs boozers, and Cotswolds estates, Ritchie flexes a variety of muscles he has developed in previous work. The point is that successful criminals frequently amass a level of wealth they were not born to handle, and we taste caviar in one mouthful and jellied eels in the next. There isn't much of the psychological depth that a premium mob saga runs on. Aside from that, and a few clues that Maeve's strength stems from her ability to use the dark perversities of the men in her life as weapons. However, if you ever start to doubt that MobLand is worth your time, Tom Hardy will be here soon to change your mind.